Hi, and welcome to the We Hate Skill Windows podcast. I'm Wrai,
I'm Chris.
and yeah, we hate skill windows. Well, thankfully for us, this is not a episode with skill windows, as far as I can recall. Uh, but yeah, we are. Well, good God, I can't talk today. We are covering Reaper of the Drifting Moon. This is a martial arts uh webcomic webtoon that focuses on the life of an assassin. He wasn't really willingly turned into an assassin, but here he is, an assassin, and he's nicknamed the Reaper. And I don't really know about the Drifting Moon part. It's got very good art, like first impressions wise, super insane art. Uh, it's got an interesting story. I don't know about how good it is. And then it's got cool character designs, but yeah, we'll go in and complain about it later probably. What were your first impressions upon rereading or reading it, Chris?
Hmm.
Because like I
Well,
would say while the art's really insane, I can't say the art can carry this. Oh, it certainly will, but like fully, you know.
yeah, the story it was it
It's
was like
fine.
okay-ish.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like a it's not like hugely it's pretty generic, right? Like compared to a lot of martial arts stories and like wuxia or zhanghu stories, it's like it exists. Yeah, there's a story. There's like the sects, and they all like raise their own people and their own warriors and their own assassins as well. And there's like the concept of like techniques. Okay, perhaps this is a weird thing to pick on. I've never understood why or well, okay, I've never understood how martial arts is supposed to be taught through a book. Now, correct me if I'm being dumb here. They like all learn this book and they get this book thrown in front of them as the assassins. It's like, all right, you gotta learn this technique from this fucking book. They have
Yeah.
no real training besides like okay, maybe martial arts is just different, but like the book thought process is in like legit like martial art movies as well. So there's got to be some sort of credence to the shit. But if I was physically fit, which I am not quite physically fit at the current moment in time, but if I was like peak physical fitness, I train every day. I can do a lot of things that normal, I guess, people who are probably not at this point could do. However, if I get a book thrown in front of me that just says, "Hey, practice these like hand motions and uh, you know, just learn through diagrams, structures, like you don't even get to see the person doing it. You just have to read it. How the fuck are you supposed to master something like that?" But, we're just gonna base it off of the fact that it's a story and just call it that, it's a story. They don't have to actually know what the fuck they're doing. It's just like in that way it feels the most like a non-realistic thing for me. Like, the aspect of like in like the gamer or in a lot of other game things. Oh, look, a skill book. Let me put my hand to it. Oh, it says learn skill. Click, and then you learn the skill. Um,
Yeah.
but I've never understood. Do you think if like I gave you a book and it was like how to master pole vaulting, could you like
If,
read the book and show me pole vaulting like the next time I see you or something?
if, yeah, it's a bit of a stretch.
Because I don't know if where you left off, for the reread at least. But did you see the point? You know roughly the point I'm talking about, right? Where like it's like, all right, we need one of you, or was it two of you? We need like X amount of you to
Review.
learn three of you. Gotcha. To
Yeah.
learn this like technique of the family we're trying to assassinate. So it looks, or wait, the technique of the family. we're trying to frame to assassinate you. It's like there's some politics
Yeah.
involved. But yeah, it's like, so this is not a technique from your people or from like the assassin group. This is not something you learn, but we're gonna have you guys learn it through the instruction manual. I don't know. Seems a little weird to me, a little bizarre. At least like, here's a YouTube video. Here's a YouTube playlist on how to perform this martial art. Now go and study the videos. Maybe the only time that I would prefer a video to just diagram. Either way, I'd feel lost. But with video, I feel like for at least martial arts, I'd feel less lost. But the main character is like an orphan, if I recall correctly. And he's like,
Some wandering traveler orphan, yeah.
yeah, living on the streets, no real family, begs to get
Get
foodish,
food.
and
But
usually
he was
not
happy.
food. Yeah, and then he's like kidnapped, and they're
Thrown
like,
into a
"All right,
hole.
you're an assassin now." Yeah, they like push him down a hole. It's not any ordinary hole. It's like a super down deep hole. Uh, and they're like, "All right, kid, you're an assassin now, and you're gonna go join these other like 50 kids or whatever, and we're gonna raise you to be ruthless pieces of shit." Except they all sort of become friends in a way, but not really friends. It also doesn't really matter because they all die. Uh, and I wish it would be like more of a bigger spoiler. It's like pretty soon that they all die. It's fine. We get a touching like death scene with the main character and like the girl that he was also comrades with. And she's like, "Oh, please avenge us." And he's like, "I will." And then he goes and does more martial artist stuff. And somehow he's become like white-haired Orochimaru, and just has the ability to control snakes. We don't really talk about that. We don't talk about why he has the ability to control snakes. We don't really know why. For all we know, all of that happened really to him is he got pushed down a pit, another pit, not the whole pit, but actually a pit farther from the hole, of snakes. And apparently he was like bit by a snake when he was a kid, and it like helped him stay alive or some shit. Well, he got bit by more snakes, to the point that I guess he's like, I, I would trust it if they were like, all right, now his blood is just fucking venom, because it feels like
Yeah.
it.
When he got pushed into the hole and then trapped in a dungeon, he purposely got himself bit multiple times.
But like, surely you only develop like partial immunity, right? Feels like he's developed like full immunity.
Apparently, every day he tried to get bit by the snake.
I, Listen, if I tried to get COVID every day, I don't think I would gain full immunity to COVID. Actually, maybe I would. Guess I'd have to test then, huh?
You had COVID every day, I
Yeah, if
think.
I went out of my way to get infected by someone else who had COVID, even if, uh,
Uh,
okay,
Seems
maybe
all the
easier way.
pandemic.
Maybe if I flew to like a country with like a higher population of insects. Insects, by the way, to clarify, not incest, in the case you couldn't hear me. Um, but what if I flew to like some swampy country, probably, and every day I made it my mission to get stung by a mosquito at least once? Would I gain immunity to that? I think my pain tolerance would go up, maybe. But it wouldn't like. Well, I guess they don't do venom. But how the fuck he even? It's a story. We don't question these things. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, he's got a snake motif, and his eyes have like funny
red
slit
irises.
pupils in them. Yeah, and then like I, his hair turned white. That's how you know he's cool. His hair turned
Yeah,
white. You know how in Tokyo Ghoul, Kaneki, has his like hair turned white in
Hair
the
and
like
white.
iconic
That's
scene.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah, after he gets tortured a lot. It's fine. This guy's hair turns white. That's how you know he's cool now. He's like broken now. Yeah. Yeah, so aside from the art being good, I guess I'll complain about what I don't like about it. I think the story is too patchy. And hopefully you can also agree with me here, Chris. But the story feels incomplete, but not like truly. So it feels like so this as far as the comments tell me, and from my own little bit of research, this has a light novel. So there is source material for this.
Oh,
Now, this is adapted from the light novel to be a web novel tune, or not web novel, like a webtoon. Now,
yeah.
given that, a lot of adaptations, you don't actually, adapt straight from the source. So, obviously, like for a movie as well, you just cut out a bunch of shit and try to like consolidate that. But the way this one does it is in such a weird way where it feels less useful in a way. I would have at least liked to see, I don't know, like a few more chapters of him suffering in the pit. Like it sounds bad, but the disconnect from the guy being tossed in the pit. The next time we see him, which is at a brothel for some reason, uh, and then you see him like wearing white or wearing like silk blue clothing, I think, and like white hair, and he's got like wires and daggers and snakes. It's a yeah, it's a time skip.
Part 2 versus part 3, JoJo.
I you may wait, hold on. Wait. So it's more like
Come on versus
it's,
Sans.
I was gonna say it's more like part 3 versus part 7 or part 8.
Oh,
We're on like part 8 right now, right? Whatever
yeah. Hold
Jojolian
on.
is. It's like the complete departure in art style ish almost. The guy got way more like feminine feeling, presenting at
Yeah.
least, which is fine. Let him be him, But I'm pretty sure the art also just like changed straight up. Um, and maybe that's fine. Like a sharper figure does sort of feel like like more threatening, maybe like a cutting edge sort of thing. Literally, I guess. But I feel like we skipped past a bunch of story. How did he get into the city? How did he get his fucking clothes? Wasn't he just in the pit all day long? Why don't we cover that for a change? I don't know. Maybe that's too mundane to cover. But I feel like it would be cool to see. Like, I imagine you're thrown in the pit of snakes for like. Do you remember how long he was in there? Like years, months, days? Probably not days.
Did they ever tell us?
Did they? I was hoping you would remember if they did. I don't. Maybe they didn't tell us. He's been in
They
there a
might
while.
have.
He was in there for a whole long time. Uh,
Yeah.
okay, let's say theoretically he was in there for like a few years. Well, even if he was in there for a few years, how the fuck did he gain nutrients? He just like cannibalize snakes, and the snakes were fine with him doing that, or did he like eat all the snakes that were in the pit? Like how did he have the time to consume his snakes if he is, or like live off of rats or something, and also train his martial arts? Uh,
I when time skips happen, I don't question anything.
you're not curious though. Like in the last
Eh,
one that we reviewed, like how the fuck the one guy the teacher in the VR game just sort of like tossed him down a pit and was like, "All right, good luck." And he showed up after 3 days, like stronger. You don't wonder what he ate or anything, or like how he even got sustenance. If the pit was just a pit, why didn't he just like leave after so long? Did he leave?
I just
Eh,
I just don't question it. I'm just That's like, time skip is one of the only tools, the author can do to call just like, yeah, anything goes.
I a lot goes in my opinion, but not everything. I cannot give anything goes to a time skip. Okay, at the very least, hopefully they explain more of the shit as time goes on. Because my complaint here is just that the story feels too segmented. It also feels like we skip too much. And I'm not gonna straight spoil the rest of the story here after he gets out of the pit, but he does a series of fights, and it feels really, really fast paced. Like compared to the whole training arc, the assassination training arc, that took a while.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, 10 chapters, all right, end of season 1. Well, see you next time. It's a little fast. And maybe this is all just precursor. But I worry that it'll drag on another dumb arc or like a less interesting arc, and then I don't know. It I it's cool. I just don't know how cool it really should be. Feel like it could be cooler, is all. Did you have any other did you have any complaints
The
while
story
reading
felt
it?
very stale to me. Like, you don't really learn anything new. Like, the coolest thing I think was when the abbess finally, like,
Ate shit?
I, or not that she died, but that's not a spoiler. No,
It's not a spoiler.
no,
It's fine. I'm not spoiling anything.
no,
Listen, I
no,
told you at the
no.
beginning, everyone dies.
When the abbess finally steps, like, when she finally fights, and like it finally feels like something is moving. But then that was shot down really quick.
Oh wait, like in the pit?
No, when she was actually fighting, like,
Oh.
yeah. I don't think she ever entered the pit.
No, but wasn't there a point where like we're like, you wonder if he's still alive down there? And then like someone
Yeah.
else like, eh, he's dead.
It, it was one of her disciples that looked exactly like her, but with an eye patch.
Oh, yeah. I remember. Guess I won't spoil what happens to her. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Listen, man. Everyone
Uh-huh.
fucking dies. It's almost to be expected in these sort of plot lines. The high probability that any meaningful character that'll die that is not like the main character's trusted people is so fucking high. I mean, aside from the main character having cool design, did you think anyone else had particular? Well, I guess the Abbess had cool design.
Yeah.
She was like
But we don't
a
really see
spiteful
her.
old woman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
and then there
that
was the eye
great.
patch lady and the black haired girl.
Yeah, and the blonde girl too.
There was a blonde girl. Oh, the one that he
Yeah,
slept with,
maybe.
I think. Wait, which blonde girl? The
Like
leader
the
of the thieves?
hundred, the 100 flower room girl.
Oh yeah, he was sleeping with her.
Uh,
That's why they got close. Apparently, this man crawled out of bed of snakes and was like, all right, I can charm women now with my snake abilities, my snake eyes.
oh,
Well, do you have anything else to add to this? Otherwise, we can just do a fast review, I guess.
yeah, let's rate this.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, let's go for art. All right, time to carry the fuck out of this thing, right? So art's good.
Honest to God, the art
Art's
is pretty good.
I I will be sounding like a hypocrite today. I think this art is on par, if not better, than Redice.
Even like the best of Redice, or like the better than the worst of Redice.
Like solo leveling Redice.
Oh, okay.
I there it's a different thing, right? It's not like straight one-to-one comparison. This one, there have been panels that I've been like, okay, this is seriously like super cool. and it like sends chills on my spine or something. The only other feeling of that I've gotten from the ones we've read recently is like Barbarian Quest. But Barbarian Quest can't be compared because Barbarian Quest just straight up does like beautiful scenery. But in this one, it's like there have been some panels where I'm like, okay, this is like really fucking cool, and yeah, Redice does it, and yes, there are some points where they do it really well. But maybe it's the fact that like I didn't read the source material. Maybe that's the issue. Cause solo leveling, it's like watching the anime of a manga that you've fully read. You're like, oh yeah, there's the hype part, but you knew it was fucking coming. Like, it's not like a super surprise. Maybe that's the issue. But I do definitely feel like it's like on par at least. So I will be giving this a 10 out of 10. uh,
Oh,
you don't have to rate it a 10. In fact, go and give it your honest opinion.
oh, I did think it was really good. Oh,
But good enough to be a 10.
I feel like when I give something a 10, like there has to be something super impactful for me.
Yeah, there was
I
that for
guess I'd
me at
give,
least.
yeah, I'll give it a 9 though. I thought it was good.
Fair enough. Yeah, like there's a lot of Redice that we read. Not all of it is terribly
Yeah.
insane. And solo leveling is definitely on that point of being insane. But like maybe it's just the use of like the colors or something. The main character here, the so-called Reaper, he's got like a really cool motif. I don't know if he's deserving of it. I feel like a lot of it was just like, all right, Snake Man, snake eyes, snakish clothing. He's got a whole snake thing going on. I don't know where it came from. He didn't use any of these techniques as an assassin. It seems to be like fully developed solely by himself or something. I would argue that doesn't make him all that strong. I don't think that would actually make you that strong based on traditional like thought process of training it. But you know what? We're not here to question that too hard, I guess. So it is what it is. For the story though, now this is where I think the story falters a bit. I feel like the story is both at the same time too fast and too weirdly slow sometimes. Uh, I appreciated it when they were just doing the exposition for the assassination training bit. I really did. Ever since the guy's gotten to like the main city that he's been at, things have sped up at such a weirdly fast pace. Now, granted, if in season 2 everything is still just as fast, then I'll just accept that this was just a weirdly slow start to a very fast paced otherwise. But perhaps it just doesn't have enough chapters to explain why the pace sped up so incredibly fast. But for that, I'm gonna give it like a hmm, I'll give it a 7. It's not a bad story, I think. I do like how the story evolves. It sort of feels sort of like Tokyo Ghoulish. Uh, not terribly well comparison, probably. I'm sure if anyone wanted to like write a video essay on why this is not Tokyo Ghoul, they could do so with alarming clarity. But the first feeling that comes to mind for such a drastic character switch, main character switch, is like Tokyo Ghoul from going from Kaneki to Sasaki. So that's the comparison for me. I still think it's got a solid plot. It is time for your rating, Mr. Frosch.
Oh, do, do, do. Yeah, I have to agree. I really vibed with the first part. And when the second part came, things just kept on happening, and you kind of just accepted it. But I felt like things were happening, but I also felt like nothing was happening, just because
The art
like
got better, but it felt flashier. Like there was less actually happening. The plot was
there was
like
like more happening, but it
faster,
felt like
but
there was less happening.
yeah, it was like the plot accelerated really, really fast, but the chapters were like, quick, there's a fire at the fucker pavilion. Send people over, and then they send like 30 people over, and that's the chapter.
And then
Oh, and then the final
he
panel, you
kills
get to see
everyone.
like the Reaper.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. That's my bad. But you see him
Kill.
like standing in a tree.
Ugh.
Oh, Pure yeah. You see him like
Yeah.
standing in a tree, and he's like smiling menacingly. That's all.
He just kills. He just goes on a murder hobo spree, and there's this one point where you think something's gonna happen, where they're gonna finally discover that's him, and then the author's like, no, they don't discover. He killed him. And you're just like, well, what the frick? What was all this
Oh
build
yeah,
up for
doesn't
then? He's
someone like widen their eyes at some point and be like, "It's you," and then he dies or something?
yeah, and I'm just like, cringe. I don't know. You built up this arc where like people are trying to figure him out, and they finally do, but they don't even. I don't know.
They don't really
It just
figure him out. They get like close to figuring it out, but it seems like everyone in this universe has decided simultaneously at the same time that Pyo, the guy who fell down the snake pit, cannot possibly be alive. Like everyone simultaneously, or like, or whatever you would say, they like unanimously agreed without talking to each other or anything that in fact this assassin has perished. I don't know why they
I
were
would
so
have
adamant in
honestly.
that. Like the
If I threw
Abbess
someone
was
into a
like
snake
so
pit, I'd
fucking
be like,
adamant that there's no way it would be him. And then it was him. It's like, what? Hmm. Why did you guys like never believe? How? You guys literally like summoned shit and like used demonic powers. Why did you not believe that the assassin could have lived? Huh?
eh,
I don't know. What will you give the story?
I'll give it a 5.
Alright, fair.
Actually, I'll give it a 6. I'll give it a 6. I didn't like that. I didn't think. I
Alright,
thought the game was
amended
like
6.
okay-ish.
Alright, characters, and then we get to give it a final score. The characters. Pillwall is cool. He's cool. There's also, I guess the Abyss. I guess she's cool. She's not really that cool.
She shows up
Uh,
like 4 times maybe.
yeah. And then there's like the other factions, like Sword Demon guy. He's
Yeah,
cool.
and
He was cool for
Fate.
like 2 chapters.
Yeah.
You don't really see him much, is the issue.
Oh, they had such they had like an okay-ish cast, and then they all died, and then you got left with like
Oh yeah,
Killwall
like
and
all the
the
like
people
the
destined to
kids.
die.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I
you're just like,
why did they
okay,
kill them all? It would have been
I can't
cool if we
believe.
had seen like a handful, like 5 of them, and then they all become like they all try to get their revenge. You know,
Yeah, then he would have friends
he
too,
would
and then it
have
would be this
some
stupid
semblance of friends, right? Maybe they die later on, but
right?
at least like do it like a Kami got killed. Don't kill them all in one fucking battle. Why? What are we supposed to
Yeah,
cheer
it
for?
was such a waste of character
It
development. I was like,
was.
you're
He
really gonna
developed
do this to
bonds with
us?
these people. He
Like
actually
all of
cared
them
about
are
like
just dead,
4 of them, you
really?
know? And then he killed all of them, every single one.
I know. I bet the author didn't know what to do after that. He was just like, ah, frick. Can't do anything now. I guess Piola goes on a murder hunt
Yeah, I
spree for the
guess he
rest of
just
the
sleeps
freaking.
with a lot of women now, and they give him money or something. How the fuck does he make money? You ever
Yeah.
wonder about that? Does
I
he
think
have
he
like
just
sugar moms?
I think he just extorts people by being really good at martial arts.
I honestly wouldn't have. I would have believed it if the author was like, he extorts people by being good at sex. He can
Ugh.
manipulate his penis in the way like a snake or something. You know, I would have believed it. Oh, because like you only see him sleeping with people. You don't really see anything else. And like he's not really known for taking on jobs or anything. Cause the like mercenary group is like, oh, you new here? I feel like if he had didn't done some jobs, they would have like known about him.
Oh.
I just don't understand where the fuck he got his clothes from. His like initial clothes. It's like stuck in a pit with snakes. You can't skin snakes and make silk. Like that's not very logical. But I guess maybe we just throw the logical out the window and just pretend like he summoned them or something. But it is what it
Ugh.
is. Uh he's cool. Some of the other characters from the assassin training arc were cool, but they're all dead now, so does it matter? I don't know. They're dead.
Yeah, they're dead now.
Like, you
They're
know,
never
as much
coming
as I want
back.
to rate like Gurren Lagann based on Kamina alone, Kamina fucking dies early, real early,
Not that early. It was like halfway in.
through like the first season. And he's just not
Yeah,
there for the whole second season.
yeah,
You know, they introduce new characters that fill that void. This one doesn't. There's
yeah.
still
He's just.
no real allies. Pure World doesn't. You might count the like weird like blacksmith reject guy or whatever. I
Oh
guess he's an ally, but we've
yeah,
seen him like 4 times,
yeah,
and his whole thing was like, "Oh shit, I've got nowhere to go. Can I just like follow you around?" And Pure was like, "Eh, you make good daggers, yeah, sure." That's like all the development we got from him. So yeah, maybe
uh,
like in due time he'll be like part of the party. That'd be cool. But I feel like just watching one man slaughter like the rest of the Jonghu or whatever doesn't feel very cathartic in a way. It's just yeah, murder hobo bloody
teleporting.
rampage.
Yeah.
Like what is there a real reason why every single person from these two sects that you're targeting had to die? Really? And everyone from the mercenary group? You felt like it was needed to slaughter everyone? Apparently
He
so.
just wants to kill everybody.
I think he's just
Woo.
bloodthirsty. I think he's just like psychopath.
It's just not very interesting to watch. Like, there's no story
It
anymore.
gets a
Now
little
it's
boring,
just,
yeah. He's just racking
yeah.
up a kill count, but for what? When's the match gonna end? It never does. I guess it ends when season one's over because we gotta wait. Now we're in the loading screen.
Yeah. Waiting for the author to figure out what to do with their story.
Waiting for the author to introduce new characters so they can die again, yeah. At the current moment in time, I don't think Pure Wall is good enough to carry this character store, the
He
score.
doesn't really talk
Yeah.
ever. It's really just a slideshow of watching everyone
Well, hold
going,
on.
what?
He
Oh my god, I'm
talks
dead.
like he says like die and now you'll die and stuff like that.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
he smiles menacingly, you know? He does that a lot. We'll give the characters like a 5 out of 10. Pure Wall's that pure 5, really. Uh, it's just like okay, let's compare this very briefly perhaps to I don't know if you've read this one. You may have heard of it maybe. The Legend of the Northern Blade.
Oh no, I had no, yeah.
Have you heard of it at least, or know of it, or maybe
I
read it,
saw,
or
I
nah?
saw how many chapters it had, and I was
Okay,
like,
okay.
nah.
Well, that is a good read. I will recommend that. Always and always. It's got a similar weird thing of like the main character's alone for a whole long time when he starts off his journey. But they also
Yeah,
introduce like supporting characters, characters that give him guidance, characters that can be his mentors, and they stick with him and they mature as he does and he ends up with good friends. It doesn't mean that those people don't
eh,
die later. It is still a martial arts story. People die all the fucking time. He meets a lot of people. They don't all survive. But you feel for them. I feel like we felt for the assassins and then they all died. And you're left only feeling for Pyo and not for any of these new characters. Because first of all, they're all like the villains, essentially, in Pyo's life. So, like, why even care about them? They are only stepping stones for the main characters to slaughter more. I don't know. But that's my small tangent. What would you like to rate the characters?
mm, uh,
How much do you think Pyo is worth?
I mean, for half of the story, they were like kind of okay characters. I'll give it a 5.
Alright, fair enough. A 5 is a 5. So, we've got some scores to tally up. I do not like doing math nowadays because I have the use of something called a calculator. Hold on, what is that, you might wonder? Well, if you look in your coat pocket or your jacket pocket, you may notice something. It's called a cell phone. Turns out, when all those teachers told me, you won't have a calculator, or you won't have like a, yeah, calculator in real life, or in adult life, they were fucking wrong. What were they on? Alright, well, who would have thought it? Okay, you know what, Chris, you wanna do a funny little thing and guess what score we gave it? Just based on
Spoiler.
our previous...
Oh, wasn't exactly a 7 or some crap.
Wow, you're so cool. It's exactly a 7.
Uh,
Why do we... Why are there so many 7s? Fuck. Just the art score. If the art score goes down, it might even get to a 6.8 maybe. Damn, crazy. Yeah, well, let's Reaper the Drifting Moon. You know, when I said we're gonna review a good one next time, that's what I meant. This is good. Alright, it's your turn. What are we reviewing?
okay.
You get to choose.
Let's review.
We could even use this time to review, fuck, somehow I'm now forgetting the name of it. What's the one that you hated?
Well, wait, the
A lot of them? Oh no, the Lone
uh,
Spellcaster, of course. How could I forget?
oh no! I refuse to read
Not only
more
is it
of
like sort of
that.
painful, it's also really long. Yeah,
Oh
we don't have to
my
read that. What would you like
god.
to read though?
Return of the Shattered Constellation.
Return of the Shattered Constellation. Let me take a look at this. Oh boy. I don't know if I've read this one. I don't remember if I've read this one. It sounds like something I've read though. They all sound like stuff I've read though. God damn it. They're all so... Shit. Why are the titles so generic now? Even this, which sounds sort of cool, sounds generic. But yeah, I'm down. Got a good number of chapters, not terribly long, not like 200 chapters long. Yeah, I'm down. Return of the Shattered Constellation, you said?
Yeah.
Alright, Return of the Shattered Constellation. Title seems to be really red, reddish orange, so I will change the font color to like
Oh,
red orange.
Rick. They started out with a
Huh?
game
What?
panel. Oh no.
Ooh!
Oh, Rick.
Ooh, nice.
I, my
Nice,
my
nice.
open-mindedness like fell super quickly.
Yeah,
I
you
was
all of a
like,
sudden you don't
I'm just
sound
gonna
so
go.
happy to do this anymore. Why is that?
Oh, I was really about to start reading and chugging, and then literally the very first like non-white pixel. God dang.
What's wrong with the game panel? There's nothing wrong with the game
Oh,
panel. I feel like a game
yes.
panel is fine.
This person opens. Oh, no, I don't mind it when they get trapped in a game or something, but when people are just out there in the real world and then they're like skill window, and then I'm just like, oh,
Well, hold on. This synopsis does not make it sound like it's part of a game. A
I know,
mere human
right?
who ascended to the position of a god. After becoming infamous as an evil god, he lost everything. And then the master of the underworld offers his hand after grabbing, decides to live again as the as the player. As the player. As the player. Okay, well, maybe that's too soon. Maybe he does have game stuff. But it didn't seem like reading the synopsis. It just sort of seemed like a back in time shit. You know? Surely it'll be not very generic, and if it is, we can call it out for being generic. But that concludes the review of We Hate. Oh wait, that concludes the review of We Hate Skill Windows on the Reaper of the Drifting Moon podcast. No, the other way around. That is the conclusion of the review of Reaper of the Drifting Moon. This has been We Hate Skill Windows, a podcast about hating skill windows and reviewing webtoons. And thank you again for watching. Now, this is the time when I don't forget to do this. Thank you for watching, and also, if you like that video and you want to see more, go and click the like button, or click the subscribe button on YouTube. You don't have to do this shit. But listen, I personally, not speaking for you, Chris, you may be ambivalent or not want to do the show, but listen, I just want to see who is even interested in this shit. Because there's clearly some sort of audience for it. Now, granted, the YouTube audience seems to be just a bunch of like pirated chapters and like a channel that uploads them all and like you scroll through it. So maybe there's not that much love for actual review content. But if there is out there, even if you're like 5 people max, go and like the video, go and subscribe. Let us know that there's someone who wants to watch this shit. Alright? You want to add to the show? The self-promotion, Chris?
Like, comment, subscribe.
And where's the enthusiasm? Smash that like button and you fucking uppercut the like button. Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Twerk in the comment section.
Wait, what? Twerk in the comment section? Hell yeah. Show us gifs of Among Us twerking? Fuck yeah. All right. We'll see you next time for Return of the Shattered Constellation.